Hey guys, this is Allison Angelis. You can check me out on my YouTube channel at Allison1L Angelis, Angelis, and also on my Instagram. Follow me for my IGTV videos and any kind of inspirational topics and yoga, lots of yoga. So I love the topic of boundaries. I talk about it quite a bit. There's a few other videos previously on the YouTube channel talking about boundaries. Want to talk a little bit more in detail. You never really learn about boundaries, and the first time I really started studying and talking about boundaries was honestly about 10 years ago when I was working with a developmental child psychologist, talking about setting limits and parenting, conscious parenting. So she started saying things like, boundaries are everything. And I kept thinking like, wow, that's a really strong statement. I didn't really honestly know what she meant. And from then forward, I started really studying up about boundaries, and you know what, she's right. Boundaries are really synonymous with self-worth and your self-esteem. It really is everything. As kids growing up, we never learned about boundaries from our parents. It's not like it was part of the program parenting us. Let's sit down and talk about boundaries. What are your boundaries? What can we discuss and practice? As well as in school, you don't learn how to have boundaries and set boundaries with friends, acquaintances, staff at school, teachers, your parents, your siblings, and then as time goes on with your work colleagues and your bosses, even if you're an entrepreneur with colleagues as well. So what is the boundary? What are boundaries? Why is it so important? Why are they everything? The thing is, boundaries are your operating instructions to the world on how you should be treated. Treated verbally, treated energetically, vibrationally, in every way, the way people speak to you, the way people behave when they're around you. For example, do people show up on time to see you? If people do not show up on time, it's not really a reflection of your self-worth. Usually this is their work to be done, but how you accept or don't accept treatment is your boundary. So you just figure out along the way, and you can also do a lot of journaling about what are important things on the way you would like to be treated. If you do this, the more that you practice setting boundaries verbally, logically, reasonably, and you could set them with your words, and then you must set these boundaries with your actions. So start thinking of lists of things that are important to you on the way that people treat you. And people should all treat each other with respect, which is a modicum, a mutual respect of treatment on how I speak to you. I speak to you with kind regard. And even above that is we really should be speaking to each other and treating each other with more of an honoring presence, like you're another being that I honor. And just watch yourself during the day to see if you treat others with the level of respect and honoring that you'd like to be treated. When you start practicing and doing that, you will start receiving that in return more often. That's not to say that your boundaries won't be tested daily for the rest of your life, and they will be. The important part about boundaries is it's a limit. You're setting a limit, and people are constantly challenging limits all day long. And you just have to remind yourself, this is my self-worth, this is what I need, and I'm going to be unyielding about it and somewhat emphatic about it. And the consequence is that we can't work together, or we can't participate together, or we can't socialize together if I can't reach that modicum of respect and hopefully honoring of myself, because I need to honor myself. I need to have great self-esteem and self-worth, and I want, a life that revolves around that. So any questions that you have about this, what your thoughts are about what your boundaries are, comment below, subscribe, hit the like button, all the buttons below, and let me know boundaries that you're working on, and do journal about it, do practice it every day. I was going to give an assignment that noticing during the day, if you're aware of how others speak to you or treat you, and how you can logically reasonably enforce a boundary, kindly and respectfully as well. And then also notice how you respect others' boundaries as well. So that's part of the practice. It is a daily practice. Boundaries really are everything. It's interwoven with your self-worth, and we all want to be treated like stars and extraordinary people and kind people, smart people, loving people, all the things that are in the good realm. But we have to start with ourselves, and how you start with yourself is by setting and yielding boundaries on how others are to behave and to speak to you and treat you. It does get a little challenging when it's a person of authority that you can't get around if you're a kid and it's a parent or a person at school that's in a position of authority, a teacher, staff. But I think if you're kind and emphatic and logical and unyielding with your boundaries, people will eventually respect you. And if they don't, you have to remove yourself from the situation. Comment below, and thanks for listening. Thanks.